roll. No contact with the 8 car. You're not getting race clean. Not either. Be patient. Watch the outside. You put a pretty big lick on number 24. 32-2. Clear, all clear. Go outside. Take care of that car the best you can, buddy. Number 123 isn't gonna like that. The 123 car is looking right. You're looking great from where I'm sitting. How's the car? Race clean, he's not either. Clear, all clear. Number 16 is up high. Alright, let's try to keep the center. Watch it, come up high. 21.95. You're making up some time. You're okay. Alright, let's get after the next guy now. Easy, man. Now, yikes. Careful, buddy. All clear, bud. Number 12, shuffle the second spot. Going up high. The 20 car got into you there. 22. Watch the guys on the track. The 109 car is outside. He's gonna look to get you back real soon. Okay, we're clear. One. Good lap. Number 17 got into you there. We're in a bind now, buddy. Lap, good job. White flag, next time by. Great. Now you got a target on your back. Let the car do the work, buddy. You're pressing a little too hard. Good for us. Contact with number 17. I think you're headed the wrong way, pal. Clear, clear. 38 car, just bumped you. He's gonna do just about anything to wreck you now. Ease up just a little bit. You're pressing out there. He's definitely mad at you now. Look out, buddy. Hey, we don't need a bad reputation. Let's be a little more careful. Carlo. Okay, we're clear. Easy on the focus, buddy. We don't want him coming back at us. Got one down low. Stay cool out there, buddy. Stay cool. Clear all around.
11, brought to you by EA Sports. It's in the game.
Going for Byron Williams. Got it. Around the stadium. Something that got started in Seattle, I think. Byron Williams. Hey, what a run. What a touchdown. What a touchdown. And listen to this crowd. I waste time. End zone, touchdown. That was Lionel. Third down. Oh, the blitz. And a fumble. Fumble. Eden is racing with the ball. He's going to score. Nobody's near him. This is going to make it 20-0, and there are no flags. There's a flag. Oh, yeah. Jack, but that Ron Springs comes in motion, and he's going forward. But watch this. You see, Hogaboom doesn't see Lawrence Taylor. But watch this. You see, Hogaboom doesn't see Lawrence Taylor. Watch this. You see, Hogaboom doesn't see Lawrence Taylor. He comes, not only hits him from the blind side. And in. Now they roll it a fumble. It's a fumble, folks. And the ball belongs to Terry Kennard. Yeah. Absolutely. And Phil Simms is hurt.
This season, he did indeed make the most of it. 4 touchdown passes against the Eagles and 409 yards through the air.
Back to the inside and into the end zone. Joe Morris. Slung to the ground. Slung to the ground late. Slung to the ground late. Perry Williams comes from the outside. Jaworski heard you say, look out. And he ducked. Williams went, boom, right over. A player after reception. Look at that takedown that Leonard Mitchell had on Lawrence Taylor. Then the completion and then the nose. Marshall just powers right by both the guard and the tackle. Can't find anybody, but can buy some time. Lawrence Taylor took the stiff arm and took Cunningham. See, there's no one open. Roll back to the right, find nothing. Now try the stiff arm. That doesn't work with Taylor. I'll tell you, this is one of the best games that...
Eastwood must love the Giants' defense. They are the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
So far this season, Lawrence Taylor and his crazed dogs have been poaching quarterbacks into an endangered species. And the Giants are winning. Simms will run it. Joey.
The first down, Tim, but now he says, well, let me get some more. No way. Browner, necktie. Get some more. No way. Browner, necktie. Some more. No way. Browner, necktie. Down, Tim, but now he says, well, let me get some more. No way. Browner, necktie.
Darren Nelson. Darren Nelson, and it is... But they blocked it well. Coleman, a little bit short. McConkey hit. He was out of bounds. Nailed. Navy helicopter pilot. Look at this. And it was right at the side. Helicopter pilot. Look at this. And it was right at Navy helicopter pilot. Look at this. And it was right at the sideline. Coleman, a little bit short. McConkey hit. He was out of bounds.
Going to make the catch, and then he is going to get decked by the lead. Now, he has to get up. He is going to get decked by the lead. Now, he has to get up. The frustration of the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks for Philip Simms. Look at this. That's a little dance, isn't it? You bet. I don't blame him.
Complete. First down at the 30-yard line, Bobby Johnson.
Unbelievable.
He was wide open there, Terry.
Is on his back, up, waving his arms. Great throw by Phil.
He's got it. The Giants with 12 seconds on the clock have reclaimed the lead.
Hard to say if this is the game winner, because after each one of these field goals, he takes a 5-step, a running leap, a flying cross, a few spins, jumps up into the arms, as these little kickers can do, because they only weigh about 125 pounds wet.
Oh, he's going to take it out. That's quite a gamble, and he loses at the 7-yard line. Solomon Miller got. Intercepted by George Martin. He's going to go all the way. Galway can't get him. 20. Martin has a touchdown.
Carried it into the end zone.
The fans here at Giants Stadium.
Mark Collins, there were 3 excellent blocks thrown.
Down and 12. Deep down the middle. McConkey to the 15.
Over the middle to Bavaro, and the tight end fights his way inside the 30, and a single effort to the 18-yard line, a solitary effort.
He wants on his side in whatever it might be, a street fight, a football game, or whatever, and here's why. He just carries 49ers all the way inside the 20, carry them for
34. Sims looking toward Johnson, then looks off Johnson, then goes for Robinson. Touchdown. Stacy Robinson in the corner for the... And they rush 5 and do a good job. The offensive line does, and he goes for Robinson, and Robinson juggles. Does he catch it? He does, inside the 1 as the back judge comes over.
and just kept in full stride. Now Sims is under great pressure before he releases, but Robinson with great concentration. Look at the ball. It comes loose and comes down. He's able to control it inside the 1.
Unbelievable catch.
Generating and off the fingertips of Rice and right into the hands. Fingertips of Rice and right into the hands. Rice and right into the hands of Perry Williams. Right here of Farnhorst. Then Hurdle. A fine tackle. Timeout. Tyler down.
That ball's coming out. Montana needing 7. Throws incomplete. Intended for Craig on a pass. Orange County, there's the Gatorade shower that's become the Giants.
Today. Their unheralded pass blockers will have to contend with Dexter. Here's Schrader back to throw. Lawrence Taylor on a blitz. Lawrence Taylor on a blitz. Lawrence Taylor on a blitz. Ball is loose and Rodgers has it. Or had it.
Taylor just gives him a hit, dips that left shoulder, boom, right around him, and hits, dips that left shoulder, boom, right around him, and dips that left shoulder, boom, right around him, and hits Schrader and Taylor today. Taylor's just out speeding him. He hits Schrader. Watch from the left side of the screen. The kid's right there, boom, hit. The kid's right there, boom, hit screen. The kid's right there, boom, hit.
Last second.
No, Johnson catches it just
In the backfield of Sims, who has time. Heads for Johnson in the end zone. Touchdown! McConkey, not Johnson. 16-yard touchdown, a juggling one by McConkey. Chases Jenkins back to the 30. He drops it. Ball's on the ground. And the Giants come up with it.
Catch the ball. Watch Lasker hit him right after he fumbles it. Bends him over. Back shot out of a cannon. Boom! And that's what Schrader's thinking, man. You hit me from the back. There's excitement. There's things happen. The coach doesn't know. He's still... Whoa!
Should have unloaded the football. Lawrence Taylor just pushed him. Get out of here.
You're going to get it, big boy. Attaboy! 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 He says you'll see a smile on his face. He likes it. It's fun.
And we've seen Phil Simms do this before, as expected.
picked off. Tom Flynn, touchdown. Screen. Now you see the mistake by Renner. He kicks it right into the overload. And Flynn blocks it, gets it. The third time Renner's punt has been blocked this year in the 12 that he's tried. Of course, this guy, he doesn't care at all, does he? He stays low. Look at the good knee bend. And Parcells.
Poetic justice. What tight end Mark...
This offensive line just did a heck of a job of clearing the way for Tiki Barber. To get back downfield and try and get a block for Reno. Well, who does he find? He finds... Well, who does he find? He finds block for Reno. Well, who does he find? He finds block for Reno. Well, who does he find? He finds...
Starts the run. Oh! He fumbles the football, and it is... He was really hit by Darwin Walker and Jerome McDougal. By Darwin Walker and Jerome hit. By Darwin Walker and Jerome hit. By Darwin Walker and Jerome McDougal.
Fred Robbins, who forced the first fumble, and now Robbins gets...
Yard line got tackled there. Yard line got tackled there by Robert Griffith. Rolls right, under pressure, gets tackled at the line of scrimmage. Michael Strahan got him. The loss of a yard, it'll go as a... Lobs one left, down the sideline. Morgan makes the catch, got separated. Sideline, Morgan makes the catch, got separated from the foot. Sideline, Morgan makes the catch, got separated from the...
Wiggle, they're going to say he went for the head.
Catch, and then Wilson hit him right in the shoulder pad.
Smashed. He literally tore the helmet off Tiki Barber on the far sidelines, and the Giants will live on this drive. He was a penalty marker thrown on that play, maybe for intentional grounding. I'm thinking, Brett is still down. He was trying to stiff arm his way by Joseph, and he threw near the 42-yard line.
And William Joseph, the defensive lineman for the Giants, just eventually, on a slow basis, eventually overpowering Gray Rugemer.
Center takes, short drop, lofts right side of the end zone. Shockey makes the catch, touchdown. Just
Shockey,
a jump ball to the right corner.
Thorn's jam I'm speaking of, and after that, the war was over.
The flat Shockey left side, gets a block, turns upfield, collar down at the first down marker by Niall Dick. Turns upfield across the 40 to the 35, and he's collared down inside the 35-yard line of Green Bay. 13.
He had to block Marcellus Wiley on that last play, and that was one reason that his helmet went flying, and all that hair came right up, right at.
Right, lobs it right, looking for Toomer, and he makes the catch at the 40-yard line, right over the defender, Dre Bly, and he gets tackled there.
Turning in this hard-fought game of big plays, and the Giants knew it, despite their tidal waves of play on third down when Leonard Marshall's hit forced the Danny White incompletion. Calling out around the world, Marshall was dancing in Giant Stadium in anticipation of a New York victory.
In 1980's memory, there were the ghosts of frustration. The franchise for over 20 years. Championship teams do not wait for opportunities. In Washington, the Skins were smothered with 4 sacks and 7 turnovers. Teams.
Oh,
In Pasadena, long inhibited emotions spewed forth. But by game time, grim battle faces were back on.
Down to the 10, 5, touchdown, I believe. And 5, touchdown, I believe. And they're going to mark it at the 1.
The tough guy Giants.
We'll fight. We'll line up and fight.
That's big time. That's big time. And appeared to have a firm grip on the NFC East title. They again backed up his guarantee in a bruising defensive struggle at Washington.
Eli Manning showed the ability to twist his face into a fun.
That's the way to heat it up. It's job done.
The defense's relentless pressure on Donovan McNabb.
He batted it first. Somehow it did not hit the ground, and then he captured it, took it down the far sideline. The towels are waving. The fans are fired up.
Defense would shut down young sensation Dante Culpepper and hold the vaunted receiving tandem of Randy Moss and Chris Carter to a mere 5 catches.
And a crack in the Giants' D, thanks in large part to number 53 side linebacker posted 14 tackles, and along with the rest of the Big Blue defense, held the Jets to barely 100 first-half total yards.
And he coughed it up, the third turnover by the Jets with 2 minutes to go here in the half.
Omar Stoutmire came on a safety blitz. He hit Pennington hard, and Lance LeGree.
They suddenly faced a daunting 3rd and 13.
Now they roll it a fumble. It's a fumble, folks, and the ball belongs to Terry Kennard. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Phil Simms is hurt. And that's what the offense. Someone jumped off sides. There was movement before, but there Marshall's the first.
Into the end zone. Joe Morris. Flung to the ground. Morris. Flung to the ground late. Joe Morris. Flung to the ground late, and there goes the flag.
Blitz where Perry Williams comes from the outside. Jaworski heard you say look out, and he ducked. Williams went boom right over.
Can't find anybody, but can buy some time. Lawrence Taylor took the stiff arm.
To the right, find nothing. Now try the stiff arm. That doesn't work with Taylor. I'll tell you, this is one of the best games that I've seen Lawrence Taylor.
Simms will run it. Joey Browner, the ball came.
He says, well, let me get some more. No way. Brown says, well, let me get some more. No way. Well, let me get some more. No way. Browner, neck tap.
Coleman, a little bit short of McConkey. Hit, he was out of bounds, nailed by Carl Lee.
After this punt, he's going to make the catch, and then he is going to get decked by Lee. Now, he is going to get decked by Lee. He is going to get decked by Lee. Now, he has to get up like Dayton.
There is an old Chinese proverb that says even the longest of journeys begins with a single. Mark was known as Rambo to his fans. But that's not only because he resembled force. But blockers could not simply stop Taylor and expect to be successful. With strength at both outside positions, opponents tried the only against a swarming unit that was still young and growing. 6 had a rich heritage and were part of a proud tradition, for it was the New York defenses of the 1950s. Through 3 quarters, Philadelphia was held to 0 total yards and had only a field goal to shake at the Mets. In both contests, these bifocal fans got the results they wanted. Saw their quarterback swept under the rug on 6 Giant sacks. Even when the Cowboys converted big plays, the Giants had the last. On special teams, on defense, even as an occasional tight end.
20, Martin to the 10, he's in! What a run by George Martin!
The tempo of the game. Bavaro's individual effort galloped day, forcing 6 interceptions and collecting 4 sacks. As usual, the spearhead was linebacker Lawrence Taylor, number 56. The NFL's leading pass rusher with 20.5 sacks.
Football player that we have to face year in and year out.
A phenomenal blitzer. He comes from everywhere all the time.
Posed unique problems for offensive linemen. Standards, Taylor roared back in '86 to dominate football like no other player. Beyond his physical gifts, he has the extraordinary ability to concentrate hand in glove with his athletic ability.
I'm in trouble.
But throughout his 6 NFL seasons,
I gotta do better than this.
Taylor's amazing achievements were equally worth celebrating. 17 years before, Alan Page of the Minnesota Vikings Taylor became the focal point of one of the league's greatest defenses, the rallying force of a powerful unit. But he was by no means the only. Leonard Marshall, Gary Reasons, Andy Hedden, Pepper Johnson, Jerome Salley, and Eric Howard. In a moment of delicious irony, Flynn, number 28, exacted a sweet measure of revenge. Ahead lay the playoffs with home field advantage throughout. This team, Parcells players were a mirror of the man, tough, demanding, and unpretentious. In a town where 240 hitters owned Cadillacs, this was a 4-wheel drive team. To such, it was a symbolic act for a team that hoped to wash away the memories of every game devastated San Francisco, and they never recovered from the shock. The Giants battered the deflated Niners, holding them to under 200 yards and forcing 4 turnovers, while piling. The Niners, boasting the NFC's number 1 offense, were simply overmatched.
Montana inside the 10, throws wildly. The 10 throws wildly. Montana inside the 10, throws wildly. Intercepted. There goes Taylor down to the 20. 10, touchdown. LT, way to go. Wrench your tail again.
York was as overwhelming as the Redskins were a beaten. Came knowing they would. The Giants had bullied and beaten opponents all year after dominating the regular season on their golden boy. The safety was worth more than 2 points, as it marked Denver's demise. In the second, they authored their script for Super Bowl 21. Mark Bavaro's touchdown began an onslaught of Giant points. Phil McConkey's touchdown was not the official.
In the history of the NFL, few players have had the impact of Lawrence Taylor, the Picasso of pro football who revolutionized the art of defense.
Years, there are a lot of great players and a lot of great teams, but first and foremost, he stands out in my mind. Giant defense is because of him, because you did not execute a play without knowing where he was, and not only as a quarterback, but as a complete offense. As a complete offense. Complete offense.
Hey, come on, baby, you can't push it for.
I can't think. Coach and scout pays Lawrence Taylor the ultimate compliment by scouring the nation in hopes of landing the new LT. Symbolized an intensity and desire rarely exhibited in major professional sports. Indeed, to find a style of
great intensity and this great quickness and abilities of this player, and that's what he did. He could do things that other players couldn't do.
I played a different...
May have invented the one-back offense.
Joe Gibbs started using the one-back offense to deal with Lawrence Taylor.
For nearly 2 decades, the Giants had struggled, posting only 2 winning seasons. It was no accident that the arrival of Lawrence Taylor coincided with New York's first.
I started to get my confidence back that's what kept us going. And I think that's how I was able to win an MVP that year, or the accolades that year, because
Lawrence Taylor's finest season ended with the New York Giants on a Monday night in 1985. It was his clean tackle that rendered such a fate to quarterback Joe Theismann. The fact that Taylor missed only
always the most important thing to me. I love talking about this game here because both
The physical important part.
"100-yard-long no man's land." On this, turn the tide of battle. Turn the tide of battle. That can turn the tide of battle.
Not going to run 40 yards without hitting somebody.
Another area, tackling to a punishing science. Another area, tackling to a punishing science. Another area of high impact is the line of scrimmage. It is called the endure many crash landings.
Mentality that you have to get away from when you're a safety. You don't want the big hit, you want the ball back. Just get the guy down if he's close, but you forsake the ball to go after the big hit, and that doesn't help your team, especially when you're drawing 15-yard penalties there.
And that sets up the Panthers at the 47-yard. So the Panthers get an opportunity. Carr, plenty of time. Complete to Robinson. Across the 30. So the company with 4 wides at the 22. Carr lofting it. Wide open is Tay Biddle for the touchdown. And the Panthers regain the lead. There was nobody within a mile of Tay Biddle.
Two of the best teams in football, but San Diego, they didn't make it to the playoffs. They had one of the best records in the NFL, and they fired their. It's a bitter loss to New England, but you know, I don't know. Some people think he didn't deserve to be fired there, and we'll see what happens. And, you know, but you can't knock consistency. He's been a consistent winner, and I think had he been given the opportunity this season, he probably would.
And that'll do it as Jared Lorenzen takes the knee to end the first half. The Giants
better at because he wants to keep his defense off the field, keep him fresh out there, eat up as much clock as he can.
And the second half is underway. Lawrence Tynes with the kick, Ryan Robinson with the return, and Ryan Robinson will be cut down inside the 20-yard line. We have a late flag. Brett Bazinet, the second-year man out of Northwestern, has replaced David Carr, and Bazinet is flushed. Brett Bazinet's he too has had a very nice camp. The Carolina Panthers coaching staff, they are optimistic but cautiously that they may be as competent 3 deep at the quarterback position as they've been in quite some time, maybe ever.
And that is a great security blanket to know that, number one, to know that you've got a guy at the number 2 position you feel good about, but to go as deep as number 3 and really feel comfortable, that is a luxury that not many NFL teams have.
And that remains to be seen, but again, they are cautiously optimistic about the progress that young man has made. Speaking of a young man who needs to make progress, Eric Shelton, now in his 3rd year out of Louisville.
Very consistent period of time, and he had some great runs. Really did a good job of changing these coaches' opinions, I believe, because I really felt like he was going to be the odd man out going into that game.
Bazinet fires. Tay Biddle has got it, and Tay Biddle is gone. He holds 32 records at Northwestern in what was a very pass-happy offense under the late Randy Walker's return, and a couple of very nice runs.
Well, think about this, Gary. I mean, you look at the last 2 years, the draft choices for the Panthers. You've got John Beeson, as we look at this last play, a great run by Derek Ward. And John Beeson was there in position to make that tackle, and I would venture to say that as he gets more of his camp legs, he probably will make that play. But you've got Thomas Davis, who was in position for a lot of years to come.
Jared Lorenzen, a nice throw and almost a wonderful diving catch over the middle by Kevin Boss.
And maybe go for a touchdown.
2nd and 10, Panther 41-yard line. Derek Ward again, right side.
About drafting in terms of need and depth, linebacker was a position the Carolina Panthers obviously have identified as an area they want to get younger and better. That call among many tonight.
Ryan Grant, the running back out of Notre Dame. Preseason game number 1, and they are decimated with injuries in the secondary. Lorenzen again, and John Beeson with another tackle.
That's good to get back and close the gap and make the tackle on the bootleg for no gain.
3rd and 1, and Ryan Grant with second effort. Nice job cutting it back up, and he gets Usher, the all-time leading receiver in terms of receptions, total offense, total yards, and that is Tiki Barber.
And probably a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think you can make a good case for that when it's all said and done. He will be considered strongly for the Hall of Fame. Hard shoes to fill. We'll see the roughing the passer. Just you know, doesn't look like much, but that's a little bit late, and going up high on the quarterback, didn't need to finish it like that. They're going to call it. And the second one right there, obviously some contact up the field. The deal right there was not making the referees calling in that situation.
Lorenzen's going to fire to the end zone, and that ball is going to be knocked out of bounds. Cam Newton on the coverage. You know, you go back to that roughing the passer. That was Philippe Gardant, who is...
There are not many NFLers from France, I think it's safe to say.
Second down for the Giants. And Ryan Grant splits the seam, and Ryan Grant will get inside the 15-yard line. John Beeson there on the tackle. Some nice runs tonight by this collection of backs for the New York Giants.
You know, a good run by the Giants, but watch Beeson, right? I like seeing this stuff. This is a guy that obviously knows only one speed. Down, did not let up for 1 minute, made the play, finished it off, saved the touchdown. The draw play at the end of the first half for a touchdown. Good for them, not so good for the Panthers.
Ryan Grant again. Thank you, Pete. They are encouraged not only about the way he's performed so far. McClubber. And a terrific throw and catch. Lorenzen Anthony Mix with the touchdown. Well, no shortage of fireworks in the Meadowlands tonight. Anthony Mix trying to be in the mix with this receiving corps for the New York Giants this year.
Yeah, great throw and catch by Jared Lorenzen and Anthony Mix. Not a real good play by Derek Strait, number 22 for the Panthers. Just a simple fade route. He got out of position, got in a trailing position. Opportunity.
Josh Houston to kick it off. Ryan Robinson, who has got a lot of work tonight in the return game, which was expected, because Ryan Robinson has really a golden opportunity. Of all the areas last year that were disappointing and frustrating, boy, last year in the return game, punt and kick, and these three guys have an opportunity, primarily D'Angelo and Ryan Robinson, to really
play. You got to make plays like that.
Eric Shelton again, and a nice carry by Eric Shelton on first down. And Steve, you know, where Eric Shelton, where does he fit in?
You know what? We had this conversation. The numbers would tell you it's going to be between him and Nick Goins, but Nick Goins is so valuable on special teams and all he can provide offensively. I think it's going to be a real tough situation again for him when they get down to the final numbers.
Bazinet tried to get that ball to Kevin Youngblood out of Clemson. Ball was a little low. You start looking at these units, and it's you've always known what a numbers game the NFL is, and there are some guys on this team that may get jobs elsewhere. It may just not be here ultimately at the end of August.
And that's what these guys have to remember as they go along. They're playing for other opportunities.
Chase Blackburn and Tommy Davis among the many who met Brett Bazinet about 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a blitz by the Giants. They came with one extra man than the normal traditional four-man rush, and the Panthers were not able to pick it up, did not read it and identify it, and therefore Brett Bazinet had no chance.
Jason Baker on 4th and 10. He will punt, a terrific punt to Michael Jennings, driving him back inside the 10, fields it at the 9. Number 2, Anthony Wright. A lot of folks back in the Carolinas familiar with him. Played collegiately at South Carolina. Ryan Grant has had a pretty nice evening. Gets it outside the 20. Anthony Wright, who has started 19 times in the National Football League, primarily for the Baltimore Ravens, was actually 5-2 as a starter in 2003. Been with Pittsburgh, Dallas, Baltimore, Cincinnati. And he comes over here, and again, this competition to who is going to back up Eli Manning. But it's becoming more and more, Steve, that you want to have a guy that you can count on, but boy, oh boy, the likelihood of going through a season without a starter missing at least one game is becoming more and more remote.
It just doesn't happen too often, and that makes the guys that do it, like Peyton Manning and Brett Favre, that much more amazing.
And Anthony Wright is going to go down. Nice job. Nice pressure from the interior check.
Anthony, let's go out and run around and hit somebody.
Corey Onazoga, the rookie out of Occidental. And it is Ryan Robinson again on the punt return. And Ryan Robinson is going to take it up to the 40-yard line. Ryan Robinson just has just a wonderful electric feel about him. His personality is, he really is a really neat kid. Plays the piano down in Spartanburg. His nickname is Beethoven.
Is it really? And I know John Fox told us when we met with him the other day down in Spartanburg, he said he's got a maturity level for a rookie that you just don't see very often. The way he carries himself, the way he interacts with his older teammates, with the coaching staff. He's one of those guys that at this point seems like he just gets it. He understands the opportunity he has, and he's excited to be there.
Panthers still just inside the 41-yard line. Eric Shelton gets about 3.5. You talked about Ryan Robinson. Some thoughts from the rookie out of Miami of Ohio.
First of all, just a more aggressive style and catching the ball and getting north with it. I don't like to go down easy, even though coaches are like, oh, well, don't take any big hits if you don't have to. I'm one of those guys who fights for a lot of yards, so I'm hoping that'll play to our advantage this upcoming season.
And we are at the end of the third quarter. His collegiate numbers are very impressive. And by the way, the MAC, if anybody is wondering, well, it's the MAC. Look, they play quality competition. We'll come back. Fourth quarter from Giant Stadium is coming up.
Oh, Hoodie, monument to the durable. Fast friend, uncomplaining sucker of sweat. In our most trying times, you still tried. When other garments stopped at the neck, you said, oh no, the head needs a garage. Our arms would pull off well before yours, yet this is how we treat you.
I've got a brilliant idea. Football with flags. Flags? Flags!
Flag football has come a long way. NFL Flag is the #1 football league for boys and girls. Sign up now at NFLRush.com.
Yeah! Flags? Flags.
Remember when playing football was all you thought about? If you're a youth football coach or administrator, USA Football can help you keep that dream alive. Whether it's coaching education or equipment grants, USA Football has the resources to keep your organization thriving. Log on to usafootball.com and learn how you can become a member and participate in the world's largest youth football celebration.
We enter the fourth quarter, 24-21. Panthers leading and 15 minutes left to play. If you think things can't change in 15 minutes, you need to check out Geico after the game. In a little as 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO. It is Geico. Brett Bazinet remains the starting quarterback, not the starting quarterback, but the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Chris Horn in motion to the top of the screen. And on a blitz, Brett Bazinet is going to go down. That is Zach Diassi. And Giant fans, Cowboy fans, Diassi, that rings a bell. Zach Diassi, the son of a really, not famous, but beloved Giant, Steve Diassi.
Yep, played for the Cowboys and the Giants. I met his father many times personally over the course of his career, my career. Really, that was just a classic example of the right defense call for the play the Panthers had called. Brett Bazinet had no chance. Diassi coming up the field made a nice play.
Bazinet again staying in the pocket, throwing long downfield. And that ball was tipped by Corey Webster. He was trying to hit Jakeem Gilmore.
Now, Corey Webster, you recall, was the cornerback that got burned for that touchdown at the end of the first half. This time he plays it very well. He keeps his discipline, stays back in there, makes Brett Bazinet try and drop one in over the top. Does not break on a shorter route coming across the field. Maybe he learned his lesson.
Baker back to punt. Sonoris Moss, second-year man out of Miami. And Moss will field it at the 20. And a nice job again by the Panthers and special teams. That was actually the snapper, Jason Kyle. 13 years for Jason Kyle. 14-12 to go. We'll be back right after this.
I went from up and coming to a has-been. Nothing in between.
The streets can beat you up.
No, I ain't no bum. I'm just homeless.
The grind can beat you down.
I forget your pieces while I'm reading.
But the truth can set you free.
Are you okay? It's fun to beat the champ.
There's this boxer. He's living on the streets. Your story is my title shot.
You ask a question, I answer.
Inspired by a true story, Resurrecting the Champ, rated PG-13, opens August 24th.
That is why I should be your commissioner.
Okay, next.
All right, here it is. Hey, are you here? I need you here. Grab a pen, Haas. Get this down. I got an 80-inch plasma screen, gourmet chef kicking out nachos and wings, leather recliners with built-in coolers. And this here, valet parking.
Valet parking?
Fantasy Rule 19. Choose your commissioner wisely.
Yes, Billy, valet parking. Bring your toe shoes.
Oh, yeah! Fantasy Rule 1, play at NFL.com.
Is it still in the third round?
That's right, Billy B. Absentee.
Has Stallworth been taken?
You want to know who's been taken, Billy? Every one of us. I'm talking about a band of brothers who laid down their afternoon on the most important day of the fantasy calendar. What's your excuse?
I have no excuse.
Fantasy Rule 32. There's no excuse for absence.
I'll take...
You will take what we give you.
Oh, yeah! Fantasy Rule 1, play at NFL.com.
And here's the extended preseason forecast for NFL Network, with current conditions near perfect for football fans and players alike. Here's what's happening on NFL Network.
This weekend, the NFL preseason on NFL Network. Football 24/7.
14-12 to go. A lot of big plays on this opening night of the preseason for the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. Tom Coughlin, monstrous year for him. And Brett Bazinet looks firm as that third quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. A couple of big plays for him tonight. And Giant Stadium, hard to believe that this is one of the real dinosaurs in the National Football League now. In its 31st year of operation, and they are building a new structure that the Giants and the Jets will use about, well, for you, about a 9-iron away. That is Ahmad Bradshaw on first down in our stats after 3 quarters. Being brought to you by Bank of America. And the Panthers 328 yards of offense through 3 quarters by virtue of some big plays in the offense and the ability to run the football. Deshaun Foster, if you did not see him in the first quarter, 5 carries, 62 yards.
Yeah, and very decisive, very comfortable with the running scheme and the way it's being coached by offensive coordinator Jeff Davidson. Again, a really solid effort by the Panthers, both sides of the football in that first half, but really exciting, extremely exciting if you're talking about the offensive production and consistency.
Otis Grigsby, number 60, and the backside pressure really coming from Philippe Gardent. And Grigsby was standing right there as Anthony Wright rolled to his right.
Yeah, you know, the pressure from Otis Grigsby is what made that play. Really got around the corner very quickly. The right tackle for the Giants really did not get out of his set well at all. And Otis Grigsby showing that he's got some serious burst coming off that left side or the right side of the New York Giants line, left side of the defensive line for the Panthers.
3rd and 5, right in the shotgun. Anthony Wright, nice pocket to throw from, and that ball is behind his intended receiver. Brandon London. So that will be a 3-and-out. Christian Morton played for the Panthers some last year due to some injuries in the secondary. Now Chris Horn, he's 30 years old, played at Rocky Mountain College. Has experience in the National Football League with the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's been out of the league a couple of years. But the Panthers really like the way that he fields punts. He looks comfortable back there, and they say that he catches everything. And again, it's just it's a numbers game in this league. And not much room to run, and he will be tackled at the 40. 13:06 to go. We'll be back after a word from your local Panthers station.
There's only one place you can see unlimited highlights of every NFL game.
NFL Game Day, prime time.
Dion, give it up. The show's just called NFL Game Day, okay? Please.
You guys ever hear of name recognition?
We knew in that huddle there was a group destined to apply the kind of pressure that had not been seen before.
Just thinking that after 15 years of work and to finally reach the pinnacle, they still get shivers.
I turned around, Lauren says, "Daddy, we're world champions." It was a special moment.
The same three words always come out when I look at it. We did it. We did it.
Dear NFL, thank you for bringing Michael Strahan to my house and school. My class was really excited when he came. I felt like the luckiest kinds of kid in the school. His hand was like that big. I had lots of fun. My favorite part was everything. Thank you, Christopher Comrie.
Kids across the country will take an NFL player to school. You could be one of them.
I want to win.
Enter online at NFLRush.com.
I'm Lane Kiffin. You're watching NFL Network.
We are back, 24-21 to go. His first preseason game for both the Giants and the Panthers. Panthers head down the Jersey Turnpike. Well, they won't head down, but figuratively speaking, next week, Philadelphia, 7 o'clock on the Panther TV network next Friday evening. Brett Bazinet remains in at quarterback, and he will throw again. Kevin Youngblood, who is a really big target, and Kevin Youngblood, for the folks in the Carolinas and in particular Clemson fans, they know him well. Highly decorated, scholastic athlete.
Yeah, 6'2", 215, big. And wearing number 19 right there. Did a good job on that slant route, getting physical coming off the ball. Corner was in bump coverage. You got to be able to get some separation, give that quarterback a place to put that football, and Bazinet did the rest.
Eric Shelton sheds 1, 2, and he cannot shed that third tackle. You know, we were talking about Youngblood. How about Chris Horn? We talked about him as well. Let's get more on him from Pete Yannity. Pete?
Horn's a guy who Jake Delhomme says really does get it, and he hopes to find a home with Carolina as a possession receiver and return guy. What a story of perseverance for this guy who's really bounced around the NFL a little bit, some other leagues, but in 2003, in a 3-month span from September to December, he was either waived or re-signed by the Kansas City Chiefs a combined 15 times. So talk about the player proverbially to be named later, if you will.
Thank you, Pete. Eric Shelton again, and it's interesting. He's wearing number 81. He puts that helmet on, and everyone says he's Ricky Prohl. You know, physically speaking, he's similar.
Yeah.
And Ricky might have been a little bigger. Chris is not a very big guy. Of course, Ricky wasn't that big either, but it is uncanny when he has that helmet on and he's running around on the practice field. You're thinking pro.
It's got to be pro. Is he still playing? Unbelievable. But I'll tell you, Chris Horn, he's 30 years old. He's got 5 years in the league, but nobody understands better than he how important it is to take advantage of every opportunity you get. And you're talking about a guy that obviously understands and what the opportunity to play in the NFL means, how great an opportunity that is. It means something to him. You hope he gets that opportunity, but again, he does understand the numbers that are involved here. You can only keep so many guys. He knows during this preseason he's got to do whatever he can to make plays on a consistent level, consistent basis, to make sure the coaches can find a spot for him.
So Norris Moss is back. And Baker will try to put this one inside the 20.